Hey guys, so I quickly want to talk about this. It's something that I picked up on a while ago. I'll get to that in a sec, so let's just quickly go through this. I'm not going to watch the whole video.
I've been on my travels today and I spoke with an Afghan asylum seeker being housed in Bolton.
The Home Office give money person weekly £40.
Is that the aspect?
What's he doing there? Get him out. Deport him. Just what's he doing there?
Card.
Aspin card, £40 one person weekly.
So you get that?
Yes, but this is so little.
Well, just piss off and get a job. Go back to your low-skilled economy, your low-skilled country, where you're probably one of the best and brightest. You can go there and probably get a decent career. You're not very useful here, though.
But you have free house.
Yes.
But now you pay rent, no rent?
No rent.
No council tax?
No, this is share house.
No gas?
No.
No electric?
No.
No water?
No.
And you get money for food?
Yes, weekly £40.
Not bad, is
Why?
it? Well, that chap there is one of 5.
Why? Why is this happening? I understand it's happening, and I know they've got their reasons, right? They say they're poor fucking migrants and all this garbage, but why is it actually happening for real? For keeps, guys, why is it happening? Let me know in the comments what your theories are, whether they're economic reasons, whether you think it's the corporations that want free, cheap labour, or whether you want to go into a more interesting direction. Let me know.
5 people who live in a so-called HMO, a house of multiple occupancy. HMOs are basically residential houses that have been carved up to make as many bedrooms as possible. And they're popping up all over Britain at a rapid pace because the government is moving asylum seekers from hotels into private homes, then taking a victory lap for it. The government's contracted Serco to manage these asylum HMOs.
Okay, so this is tying in at the same time as they're saying, hey, guys, there's less hotels now. We're using less hotels. We're doing really well. Look how good we are. We're putting less migrants. Well, not less migrants. We're just using less hotels. I mean, there's more migrants in the fucking hotels. We're like stuffing them in there. But we can say that we're using less hotels at the same time as we're stuffing them into random people's fucking homes as well.
And in turn, the company's been pumping out adverts like this one, appealing to landlords to give up their properties. Serco is promising landlords 5 years rent up front, often at massive rates, all with maintenance, repairs and utility bills paid for.
And a lot of these, I'm guaranteeing, will be owned by BlackRock. Guarantee it. I'll look into that later. I'll try now. All right, so it's mostly done through Serco. But guess who holds a significant share in Serco?
And if your priority is money before country, it's a no-brainer for landlords. Serco says it's responsible for more than 30,000 asylum seekers across 7,000 properties in the UK. So when Angela Rayner said last year in June that every borough in...
Right, so the British government is giving these companies our money to replace us with migrants who don't even have jobs or skills or contribute to the country. What is that?
In this country would be taking its fair share of migrants. She wasn't lying, was she? Anyway, let's talk more about these HMOs. Here's one I saw today. They look like normal houses from the outside, but inside they home 6 or more migrants who all live together in what is pretty much a makeshift bedsit. And in Bolton, where I went this morning,
So if they're not doing this for economic reasons, then why are they doing this? And why is BlackRock so heavily involved? And who's above that?
Stop that.
town has gone from 170 HMOs to more than 700 in just a few years. I'll say that again, from 170 to more than 700 in just a few years. The locals there say they've already taken their fair share, just like Angela Rayner demanded, but they're not happy. Government has basically taken them out of hotels and said, oh, look, we're solving the problem. But they're now ending up in your communities like this.
Yeah, I'm just gutted.
The framing around this is what always trips me up with GB News, because I know that they're just rage baiting, but are they doing it on purpose? Like, they must be aware that the government is probably putting them here on purpose, right? To stir up tensions with people. I doubt they're doing it haphazardly. There's so many better ways they could do it stealthily, right? So they must be doing it just to drive tensions up. GB News must know this, but why don't they ever acknowledge the possibility that that might be true instead of just leaning into it? Anyway, let's move on to something else. The reason I brought this up is because it reminded me of Vindicator Strikes Back. This is a gentleman that has a YouTube channel. You should go and subscribe, by the way. He's got some really excellent points. He's really straight up and down, and he's not afraid to hold back and say what he really thinks, which is the most important thing. You know, I think truth is a good... How much truth you're willing to say, or I guess... living in the UK, how much of a risk you're willing to take when it comes to telling the truth, I believe is a good testament of your character. So I think you'll enjoy that if you also believe that. You'll enjoy this guy's content. Anyway, the point is, I remember when he was talking about this, he was like I said, he's a YouTuber, and I think the government targeted him early and specifically on purpose, though I've got no proof for this, but it just seems like a vindictive thing that the government would probably enjoy doing. So he got kicked out of his home with his family, almost no notice, within a week, and relocated to another part of the country in a shell of a home with almost no furniture at all. No washing machines. I don't believe there were beds. There might have been mattresses or something, but no beds. I'm not 100% sure. My memory's not great. But the point is, they did it just to fuck with him, in my opinion. And how many other people, you might be wondering, have they done this to? 32,000 homes in 2024. This is large scale. Now, I'm not saying each and every one of those, and they're called Section 21s. So there were 32,287 in 2024. Now, that is huge. And again, I'm not saying that every single one of those affected a English or British family. And I'm not saying every one of them was intended for the purpose of putting migrants into them, but that's an awful lot of Section 21s. It's 8 times higher than it's ever been. Why? Why is it so high when the Labour government suddenly get into power and people start noticing that there's, migrants in hotels?
Stop that.
And this is coming all at the same time, guys, as the police are saying to shops and retailers that they should start being nicer to the thieves to prevent them from stealing from them. It reminds me of that Canadian police officer that said that in order to not get killed when someone burgles your house, just leave your valuables and your car keys next to the front door for them. It's like, Jesus Christ. They really don't care about us at all, do they? But they get really passionate when it comes to the environment. Like they want to spend £30 billion to capture CO2. It will remove 30,000 tonnes a year. China currently spits out 12 billion tonnes a year. So we're spending £30 billion on a vanity project. It's going to make some people rich, don't get me wrong. And it's people like this, they get really, really excited for their weird causes that end up hurting you, costing you money, making them look good, but actually achieving fuck all.
The UK government wants you to delete your old screenshots. Not like that, but to save water. And if you're wondering what your screenshots have to do with saving water, let me explain.
Save water.
Just up the river here sit dozens of data centres, which store all sorts of digital material like photos and emails. They use large amounts of water in 2 ways. Firstly, to generate electricity to keep the centres running, and secondly, to keep the thousands of hard drives that store the materials cool. As we move more online, we need more data centres, and that means more pressure on our water systems. Here in London, Thames Water estimates that if using water cooling, a hyperscale data centre could use anywhere between 4 and 19 million litres of water a day to keep its systems cool. They're warning that that's going to put loads of pressure on the water supply. But the government says deleting 1,000 emails with attachments could save up to 77.5 litres of water a year. And now that...
No. Just build a new system. Just build a new system, a new irrigation system for the data centres, one that is not connected to the water supply. Finished. Done. It's fucking ridiculous. Oh, of course, yeah. There's also this, when we want to apply our own standards to our own society and follow our own traditions, that's a bad thing. That's looked down upon. But when other people want to apply their standards and their traditions and their ideology to our society, suddenly it's fine. Everything is two-tier in this country, and it's all designed to be against the native people. And again, you've just got to keep asking, why the hell are they doing this? The conspiracies are not feeling like conspiratorial anymore. They're just like the unspoken truth now. We've got this shit, you know, it just doesn't stop, does it? It's everywhere. In everything. It's literally everywhere. They're trying to take the culture, the history, the bloody country itself, We all know this isn't the first time, otherwise I wouldn't be making too much of a fuss about this if it was just a one-off. But it's in everything. It's in everything, guys. You've got Jesus Christ portrayed right now as some lesbian cryptoid, while at the same time in our country, the council is coming around saying that we have to rip down our own flags because they will destabilise the structure of lampposts and pose a danger to the public. The excuses that they come up with are ridiculous, and I think they're ridiculous on purpose. Why else would they be doing it? They're stalking things. And you've got all this stuff with MasterCard going after games, saying that they're gonna withdraw their services from games companies if they don't do what they say and follow their free speech rules or their safety standards. You've got the UK right now censoring 4chan, fining them for some free speech bullshit that they just made up. It seems as though there's a lot of factors right now aligning against free Western democracy. And they hate flags, guys, because they can't take your flags. They can make you scared of flying them. They can try and rip them down. They can even say that they're illegal, but they can't take them from you. And I think this is going to go one way, and that is that we're just going to see flags everywhere. More and more people will just keep putting these up, and the council think that they can take them down faster than people can put them up. Then they're deluded. There's no way they'll be able to do it. Because I think everyone's sick of seeing this shit. You know, how is broken Britain? Britain is broken. Is Britain really broken? What happened to broken Britain? We're just tired of this. We didn't do anything. We didn't vote for this, we didn't ask for this, and we certainly don't deserve this. I think England has actually been, and Britain, right, has been a net positive on the world. We've given it civilization, we've allowed devolution, peaceful devolution time and time again, or independence, whatever you want to call it. We've given birth to the greatest countries the world has ever seen. I think we've done all right. I don't think we deserve this, considering actually our lives, while all of this nice stuff was happening to you. Back home, we were treated like shit. We were little more than serfs during this time, with almost no rights or privileges, little food, no health. We had a bad time of it. We were press-ganged into military service. We were press-ganged into serving on the ships. We didn't have a good time. I think we're reaching a point now where people are starting to notice, they're starting to understand the severity of what's happening to this country and what that means for people like us moving forward. We all know that there's in-group biases, there's ideological biases, there's representative bias, i.e. if you want more representation, that could actually align on either side of an ideological or racial group. You can have traitors, you can have communists, you can have all these different people. But for me personally, I've just put myself on an island and it is called England. I want a Scottish person to put themselves on their island and a Northern Irish person to put themselves on their island, and we can help each other through it, but we've got to start identifying as our group, because that is something that they can't take from us, and that's why they are very close, I think, to banning the St. George Cross. That is their most hated flag for a reason, because they know that is the one that will solidify nations. And they don't want that. See you later.